Hello and welcome to Daily Politics on Trust TV. On this program, we discuss issues around politics, policy and governance. I'm Hamza Idris. On the program tonight, we are joined by Honorable Hafiz Kau. He is the Deputy Chairman, House Committee on Banking and Currency and represents Tarauni Federal Constituency in Kano State. He joins us to discuss a variety of issues in the polity, including the outcome of elections in Kano, the ongoing media war between outgoing government and the incoming one. Welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
We're happy having you in our studio.
I'm also happy being here.
Okay, going straight. If I say tsunami has swept all of you in Kano, the Ganduji years, am I correct?
Well, you are correct and you're not correct at the same time. Why I said you are correct is, Kano has been known for a political history. The peculiarity of Kano's politics started long ago with the Amin Kanos, with the late Abakar Rimis. So Kano has an outstanding political issues and political climate, if I may say it, or if I may put it that way. Looking at what happened, as it is being said, history normally repeats itself.
Yeah.
If you look at the politics of Kano, right from the Second Republic, Fourth Republic, to the current dispensation, it has been interchanging. Exactly in 2003, today we're in 2023, the same kind of 20 years, the same kind of political revolution happened in Kano.
Similar scenario.
Similar scenario. If you look at it, in 1999 to 2003, then was Senator Rabiu Musa Konkoso, which he was the governor at that time. ANPP, that was APP then, under Malam Ibrahim Shekarau and the current President Muhammadu Buhari, were the co-pilot at then. They contested and they swept the PDP in Kano.
And they were the brides.
They were the brides at that time. Malam Ibrahim Shekarau came, spent 8 years. Then Konkoso came back, also spent another 4 years, which ushered in the current political dispensation. So Kano is not new to Kano politics. It is something that normally happens.
It is the manner to which prominent politicians were demystified of sort, you inclusive. Were you shocked with the outcome of the election when a little non-political party, NNPP, right, which was taken to Kano from the south by Konkoso, now it has taken most of the seats in the House of Representatives, including yours, 2 Senate seats, right? And many state assembly positions.
Well, it happened that, as you said, we all of us contested against Rabiu Musa Konkoso. We did not contest with the individual candidates.
Oh my God!
Rabiu Musa Konkoso was on the ballot.
Okay.
He was on the ballot.
How do you mean, Honorable?
He was on the ballot. He was contesting for president. So Kano being his home state, definitely you expect everybody in his home state to have that kind of political support and political
so the ripple effect.
Let me ask you, if you look at all other states, where has Rabiu Musa Konkoso, Senator Rabiu Musa Konkoso won? There's no state that he has won.
Yeah.
It's only Kano.
And in Jigawa he had a seat, right?
Only one seat, but it's only Kano that he was able to get 18 House of Reps with 2 senators, even though there's a lot of irregularities in the election. It was marred by irregularities, non-adherence to the principles and even the main rules and regulations that were guided by the Electoral Act and the INEC itself. So there were a lot of irregularities.
But some people said even in 2019, when you people won, there were also irregularities, including the infamous rerun election and all that, which you people tried to have this time around.
But how many? The places that they went to tribunal were only 3 or 4 in 2019. Okay. But as I'm talking to you now, there are over 20 cases at the tribunal.
Wow.
Over 20.
And we were a bit surprised earlier, of course, after the election. The APC said, okay, we are going to court, right? Then a few days after, precisely the day Abagida Gida received his certificate of return, your candidate Gawuna congratulated him. But a few days after, now the fireworks started with the advisory by Abba Gida. How do you receive that advisory from?
Well, to me, I think it's a little bit too early. If I were him, or if I were the party, the NMPP, I will wait till I am sworn in on May 29th. May 29th is just some few days. We still have a governor that has not completed his mandate. His mandate ends at the 29th of May.
Yeah.
So at the beginning, even though he said it is advisory, but you have to look at the people you want to govern, their level of understanding, their level of thinking, and not to overheat the already heated polity. Already the politics is already heated.
There was even a curfew in Kano,
yes,
before the declaration.
It is already heated. So we shouldn't overheat the polity. We should allow to have a smooth transition and a smooth transfer of power, which when Abba comes on board, he can decide to implement all the policies and programs.
He can reverse some, even though I read somewhere someone saying that he also has to toy gently, because some of the things done by the Ganduje administration, they were backed by law, so you cannot just come.
That's what I'm saying. And it's just like when somebody is outside, he needs to even get in to understand
the complexity
and read some of the things that are truly happening, because they can give you a picture from the outside, but when you enter, you see it is entirely a different picture. So if I were them, I will patiently wait just a few days, less than 60 days. He will be there and he will understand the system, or he will understand what have been done or what needs to be done. We agree that it was a very, very heated contest.
Yeah.
And
when he issued the second advisory on banks not to issue loans to Kano State government, it appeared the governor was so furious that, look, earlier we said you should lead with justice and all that. Now we have shared that we are going to tribunal. Are you on the same page with the governor?
Well, let me tell you something.
Okay.
To me, government is a continuous process, whether opposition or whether the same party. Government is a continuous process. You continue with it, whether you like it or not. The same civil servant that worked under APC are the same civil servant that work under NMPP.
Yeah.
They are the same program, the same method of promotions, the same method. It's only the policies and the programs that will change, not the method of governance. And maybe in sometimes the difference will be in terms of the administration. But to me, I align with what the governor is a leader of the party in Kano.
You still believe in what he said?
That's what I said. He's my leader. He's our leader. He's the leader of APC.
Yes.
Yeah, he's the leader of APC in Kano, whether you like it or not. So what he is saying by going to court, he felt that there are some places, irregularities that needs to be addressed at the tribunal. In fact, Gawuna as an individual, that is his conviction. That's why he congratulated. He congratulated Abba as an individual. But the party has the right to go to court, because as individual you contest under the platform of the party. The party has the right to look at it and say, okay, I have not agreed. But me as an individual, I have the right to say, okay, I'm satisfied with this. And what Gawuna said is his conviction with his God. He has been saying it that anybody that God gives this power, he's ready to support him and work with him and pray for him, which that is exactly what he did.
Aha. So it's actually different from position of the party.
Position of the party. He has the right as individual to express his position, which that he said, what he said. He said he's congratulating him and he's advising him to be fair and just in the dealings of the governance.
What is your position on your constituency?
My position is that election has happened and I believe there are irregularities and I'm challenging it in the tribunal.
Oh, you're going to the tribunal also?
Already I'm in the tribunal challenging it to see where the irregularities occurred, and we'll leave the tribunal to do justice.
You think you have what it takes to succeed in the tribunal? Because there is this allegation or insinuation that many of you were booted out beyond the Concosia, this thing that you didn't perform.
Let me tell you something.
Yes.
I'm proud to say, not only me, the members that I know that served in 9th Assembly under the APC have performed beyond expectation. Let me tell you, it's only in this administration that the government of the day were making sure that the capital releases and the capital project were being released 100%. The funding
taking from center to the subnational.
To the subnational, yes, 100%. And most of the projects, from education, from health, from infrastructure, the government of President Muhammadu Buhari, if I can tell you, has performed wonderfully in terms of infrastructure. There was never a government that spent and invested so much in terms of infrastructure like this government. So it goes across from the center to down. I can challenge you, go to my constituency and see. There were projects that were abandoned 30 years ago. There were projects that people are suffering from it. I brought that project in terms of infrastructure, roads. There is no place in my constituency that you will not go and you will see the presence of federal government through the constituency projects that I brought. There is no ward, I have 10 wards, that you will go, that you will not see the presence of, that I built block of classrooms, that I built hospitals. There is no place, especially road networks. There is a road that links, if you know Kano very well, links Maiduguri Road and Zaria Road. That road connects 3 of my wards. It has been there 30 years ago. 30 years.
Okay, but beyond that, why is it that you were defeated, even though you said you have some contestations?
Why I'm telling you is that, to me, I was not defeated. As I said, all the APC contested with Rabiu Musa Konkoso being on the ballot. If Rabiu Musa Konkoso was not on the ballot, I am telling you, we will beat them hands down. As you said, it was Tsunami that came.
Okay.
So people, let me tell you, our people did not think of any other person. There is the saying, they say, sack.
Yeah,
which has been happening even during President Muhammadu Buhari.
Yes.
So the same thing as Senator Rabiu Musa Konkoso. When they came, people were just voting for Rabiu Musa Konkoso. They didn't know even who was the senatorial candidate, who was the House of Reps. All they know is that they were voting for Rabiu Musa Konkoso, thinking that he will become the president.
But there is this insinuation also that many of you will end up in prison. You that do some constituency projects in Kano, Konkoso said they are going to track them. You know, the governor who allocated, corner shops, burial grounds and all that. What do you have to say on this?
You know, when people are sitting down, maybe, there's what they said, the table of Meshai's talk.
Yes.
That's the roadside talk. There are things that are visibly done, that people can feel, touch, and see them. Of course, there must be some mistakes. Nobody is perfect.
You're also admitting this?
No, I'm saying nobody is perfect. In one way or the other, there are places that you find mistakes. But I can tell you, the governor has performed wonderfully well. I don't know in terms of the land allocations or what you're saying. When the new government comes, of course, the institute, and we will see that the truth will unveil itself. But I can tell you, nobody is afraid of whatever they will do, because we know we did the right things. We know we have done what is supposed to be done. And we know we have served our people diligently. We have served our people to the best of our ability, to the best of our capacities. And we are not afraid of anything. Whatever that anybody wants to do, let them go and see. Let them go and investigate. Let them go and find out. There are things that are there. There is not things that are non-existence. There are things that are there.
Some are saying the blueprint that Ganduje executed, was actually Konkoso's blueprint, because all of you were Konkosos, Konkosia adherents and all that. Yes, especially the land allocation. They said he was the one who started carving lands in GRS and all that. Abba is also part of that Konkosia.
He was commissioner for works. So
now, how do we reconcile? Do you think that it's just maybe making noise at the end of the day, they will not do anything?
Let me tell you, there's a saying that, when there's a family meeting.
Yes.
Normally, if it's truly a family meeting, at least somebody has to go out angry. So if somebody walks out not being angry, it's not a family meeting. In every family meeting, definitely somebody will go out angry. So the Abba you're talking about, the Ganduje you're talking about, the Rabiu Musa Konkoso you're talking, is one same family.
Oh my God.
Because Dr. Abla Umar Ganduje. Well, let me tell you, Dr. Abla Umar Ganduje. Let me tell you, Dr. Abla Umar Ganduje was Konkoso's deputy for 8 years. Abba served as a commissioner of works. In the first year, Abba was PA to Konkoso.
So it's one family.
So, but what I'm telling you is, whether you like it or not, there are projects that Konkoso started, and Governor Ganduje completed the projects. They are there. Most of the overhead bridges that Konkoso started, Ganduje came and completed and initiated new ones.
So if I understand you, Honorable, very well, it's like it is the local people, the poor, that are actually killing themselves over these political actors.
Let me tell you, definitely. There are some things that they are purely political. There's no basis for that. Because now you're talking about the people, serving the people. The people are in their need of the presence of government.
Yes.
So all this war of words, I think, is a wrong timing. What the government that is coming is supposed to do is to hit the ground running. Bring the policies and programs that will touch the lives of the common man, not to witch hunt, not to look back. When President Muhammadu Buhari came in 2015, a lot have been said about the PDP government. The mess created, the wastes. But when President Muhammad Buhari came, he drew a line, started building upon. If he had said he's going to look back, 4 years will come and go without achieving anything.
Yeah.
Because today, from this panel of inquiry, from this panel of investigation to that, so you end up wasting your time. Because
so
this
is
time,
like
4
an
years,
advisory of sorts to
yes, 4 years is just like today. The population of Kano keeps growing day by day.
So he should draw a line.
He should draw a line. If I were him, I would draw a line, draw up my programs and policies and start.
But do you think he should draw a line from the lands like graveyards that have been encroached?
Let me tell you, all these things we've been saying. These programs not started even before Ganduje's administration. They have been allocated lands.
So it's not a new thing.
Let me tell you, Governor Rabiu Musa Konkoso, when he was the governor, he sold all the GPs and he commercialized, or he sold the GPs in Kano. Some he did owner occupier, the people living there were sold, and some were sold to other people.
And Ganduje
they started the program because Ganduje was deputy governor. So there were some of the programs that were started in Rabiu Musa Konkoso's government. And completed by Governor Ganduje. So what I'm saying is, whether you like it or not, the history of Kano cannot be complete. When you mention Konkoso, you have to mention Ganduje. History of Kano can never be complete without these two people. Because if you ask, who was Konkoso's deputy for 8 years?
Yes, Ganduje. In fact, he came to Abuja with
right from time when Senator Rabiu Musa Konkoso became a senator, he gave Ganduje his advisor. When he in 2007, he recommended Governor Ganduje to be executive secretary of Lake Chad Basin. In 2011, when he was coming back, he came back with Governor Ganduje. He handed over to Governor Ganduje. So what I'm saying is that we are all doing this because of the common man and because of the development of Kano State.
Yes.
You understand me? As I said, the population of Kano keeps growing day by day.
But are you worried?
This growing population, how are we going to cater for them?
Yeah,
what are the plans we have for them in terms of healthcare delivery, in terms of education, in terms of fighting poverty, in terms of creating an enabling environment for businesses? Kano is a commercial city. Kano is a city known in terms of history. Even the Arab traders used to pass and come through Kano. From Niger, from Chad, from Benin, people come to Kano for businesses.
But who is behind youth restiveness? For instance, the day the election was declared, this singer Rarara's house, then many people, we saw, in fact, we have done a story where some women that have capital of 200,000, 300,000,
even my office, even our own office, campaign office for Ashwaju that we opened, Ashwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu and myself, was vandalized in Kano. Even my own office at Corner Magi. Let me tell you, the problem is we all have our supporters. And at various levels is we don't tend to control these supporters in terms of even when we are happy or in terms of when we have when
grievances.
Yes, when there's victory. When there's victory.
Victory or failure.
Yeah, when the victory was gotten by NMPP, they did not control their followers.
Crowd.
So the followers went into town, start destroying properties of people, even innocent people. People that are minding their own business. They are not politicians. They don't have business in politics, but they were affected. And that is what I'm saying, that if I were NMPP, if I were Abba, I would look at these youths in their millions because they have hope in their government. They think that this government, when it comes on board, all their problems are being solved, which is far from the truth, which is far from reality. So how do they sit down? I know they have their own programs, they have their own plans, but this is an issue that if they don't manage it very well, 4 years to come, the same youths will be a problem, will be a burden to them.
Wow. Now, APC is losing its steam in Kano. I may be wrong. And it's one family. You should start thinking that some of you will move to NNPP.
Well, let me tell you something.
Okay.
As I said, we have some cases, litigations before the tribunal, which we expect there will be alignment and realignments.
Okay.
Definitely, you can't go on and say all the cases before the tribunal
must favor you.
No, you can't say that definitely it will be sustained or retained. Definitely, there are some seats that will be recovered or returned.
Okay.
Definitely win some of our cases by the grace of Almighty God.
Are you upbeat about yours?
Inshallah. So we are expecting to get some of our seats back and to continue what we're doing. But I can tell you, APC, by the grace of God, will bounce back even stronger.
In Kano?
In Kano.
Why? Is it that because you don't have hope in the crop of leaders that emerge now?
Let me tell you something. Definitely when you're in power, you tend to offend people. It's when you're out of power, then people will tend to see the advantages, you tend to see your strength, will tend to see what you have offered.
So you, the Gandujiyas, you believe you have done so much
that the people, that's what I'm telling you, the people now will start seeing and be saying, if it were APC government, this thing would not have been done. As I said.
Is it a prophecy or you are just
No, that's politics. That's politics. I just gave you an example. Konkoso was kicked out in 2003.
Yeah. But he was
people, let me tell
welcome.
you, Konkoso has to, in 2003, was not even moving around Kano because of how heated the politics was.
But what did he do?
Well, let me tell you.
He didn't spend money this time
Let me tell you something.
Yes.
Let me tell you something. But in 2011, he came back being celebrated. Today, look at what happened. So what I'm telling you this is, that's natural. When a leader serves and when he goes back to sit down, go back to drawing board, look at where he made mistakes, correct that mistakes.
But what did he do? What do you think Konkoso did that endeared him to the people that they crept for his
Let
return?
me tell you something.
Yes.
Look at Konkoso administration in 1999 to 2003. Look at his administration in 2011 and 2015.
Yes.
He has corrected lots and lots of his mistakes that he did in 1999 to 2003.
Is it stepping on toes of
No,
people?
not stepping on toes. He realized that politics is being owned by the youths.
Okay.
He drew the youths closer to him. At some point, he was doing a lot of things that are touching directly the lives of the youths.
Like education.
Like education.
I was actually
Free
shocked,
education.
not to quote you, Honorable. I saw a clip of a young boy. He isn't even of voting age. He was swearing that if Konkoso puts a goat to contest for an office, and his father is also contesting for the same office, he will go for the goat because Konkoso said that God is the right person.
That's what I'm telling you. Already because of how he drew the youths closer to him. And I can tell you, mark my word, if you have a diary, write it. APC will be celebrated in the next 4 years to come by the grace of God. In the same Kano, you will see how APC will bounce back in Kano. You will see how people will be drumming and be inviting APC to come back. Because as I said, look at history of Kano. Male Ibrahim Shekarau has done a lot, especially in terms of human capital development. When he came in 2003, people were celebrating him.
But now people are not mentioning his name.
In 2011, look at it, he brought a candidate, but his candidate was defeated by Konkoso.
Yeah.
That is the political dynamics of Kano.
So the history will keep repeating itself.
It will keep repeating itself.
I wish we have more time to discuss Kano, but I have just 1 minute to round up with you. And you are the Deputy Chairman, House Committee on Banking and Currency. In 1 minute, are you disappointed with the way the CBN and the presidency handled the Naira swap, cashless policy and all?
Well, I would say I'm disappointed. And I would say I'm not disappointed.
Okay.
I'm disappointed in the manner the operations of the redesigning of the Naira went through.
Okay.
It has subjected a lot of people to untold hardship. It has subjected a lot of people to great losses in their businesses.
It was haphazard.
Haphazard. And the program did not go on as it's supposed to go. As we keep saying that there was never a country in the world that you redesign the currency and you give it a timeline. US, UK, they have done it. We have seen. But they allow the things to run concurrently. The old notes and the new notes were running concurrently. But the only thing they said, shops and other people stop collecting this denomination, go to the bank, and the bank will change it for you. But the program is a good program, it's a good policy, because it will grow our investment. It will give confidence to investors. It will further strengthen our Naira. But the purpose of it, the main aim, was defeated. Because you cannot bring a program that is not acceptable by the common man. That the person that's supposed to be the end user of that project or program is suffering. not happy about the program. So that's why I said I'm disappointed, and I'm not disappointed.
Now, are you thinking of finally sanctioning?
Of course, you know, if
MFA?
not because of the intervention of the National Assembly,
Yeah.
we invited the CBN governor. We said he has to extend the timeline of this, and we said he has to come and explain, which he came, he explained to the House, and we asked for the extension, which they extended for some days, and they said they should allow the currency to be taken back to. But now the Supreme Court made a pronouncement, and that's where we are. And let me ask you now, are you seeing the new notes? You don't see the new notes.
Yeah,
the bank are dispensing the old notes. So where are the new notes?
Serious issues. We will invite you again to discuss this in more clearer terms. Thank you very much, Honorable Hafiz Kau, for coming to the program. We thank you for coming. Viewers, that's Hafiz Kau, Deputy Chair, House Committee on Banking and Currency, a member representing Taroni Federal Constituency in the House of Reps. We'll take a short break now, and when we return, the conversation continues with another guest. Thank you. Don't go away. Welcome back. If you are just joining us, this is Daily Politics on Trust TV. Do well to follow the conversation across all our various platforms on Facebook, Instagram, and watch us live on YouTube. We are now joined by Baba Yusuf, a strategist, policy analyst, and the CEO of Global Trade Investment Company. He joins us via telephone to share his perspectives on the controversial leaked conversation between the Labour Party presidential candidate in the just concluded 2023 presidential election, Peter Obi, and popular Bishop David Oyedepo. He joins us from Kano. Welcome to the program, Baba.
Thank you very much for having me, Hamza.
Obviously, the story that shouted the most between Saturday and Sunday was the conversation between Labour Party's Peter Obi and Oyedepo. What is your take on that?
Well, I will say, first of all, I will start by saying this leak is most unfortunate, coming at a very, very critical moment in of Nigeria. We are still having, to deal with what I call wind up of the 2023 general elections and the fallout of the elections. Nerves have been frayed. This is one of the most polarized times in the history of Nigeria. And it is unfortunate this audio leak came at the time it did.
Yeah.
This is without prejudice to the authenticity or otherwise of the content at audio, but suffice it to say, now it beholds on the critical players in this audio to come through with a position different from what we have heard. But indeed, these two gentlemen, like it or not, are leaders in this country by their own right, and these are people that Nigerians look up to, a country of over 200 million people. By virtue of their position and status in society, a religious leader of, the caliber of Pastor Oyedepo and the person of the presidential candidate of the Labour Party in the person of His Excellency Mr. Peter Obi.
Yes.
It is a very worrisome development, I must say.
Okay, why after the election? Because this thing happened before the election. Why did leaking after the election, from your understanding?
Your opinion is from my own standpoint, Hamza. The game of politicking is still on, and all players have their strategies on how to take out political opponents, stop them, or contain them. This will continue happening until, maybe a president is elected or even beyond that. Because don't forget that another cycle of election process starts after the current one, is concluded. So to my mind, this is the antique of political opponents of His Excellency Peter Obi, because even as we speak, Mr. Peter Obi has gone to court, the Labour Party, contesting the election, the outcome. And of course, there are potentials of the fallout of that. For example, if there is a call for another round of elections, for example, one may, hypothetically say the other, whoever they are, may be trying to clip the wings of Mr. Peter Obi, looking at the mid to long term. In 2023 also, looking at it from a strategic point of view to 2007, and looking at how Peter Obi has become a phenomenal momentum, in the political history of Nigeria in the past 8 months. One may say that this is a political, this is a political strategy to, if you like, stop him at his speed or reduce the momentum, if you like, in order to curtail him moving forward, to curtail his political movement, if you like, moving forward.
Okay, you said it might be the antic. It might be the antic of some people against him. But what is actually giving me some shock is the in-house fight within the Labour Party. For instance, Kenneth Okonkwo admitted that, yeah, indeed, there was this conversation. But the Obi, dirty, presidential campaign organization says there was nothing like that. So what is your take on this? And they even disown Kenneth.
Yes. This Hamza, is a reflection of how hard hit the Labour Party, Peter Obi camp is with this. They are shell-shocked with this outcome, and they are trying to gather gather themselves together.
So you mean that we are caught off balance?
What you call in boxing, yes, this is a sucker punch in boxing, It's a southpaw coming, like you say, in boxing, so they are caught off guard, and then the house is a little bit in disarray. What this will also do is it will test the stability of the Labour Party for us to see whether indeed the party is one house and the party is strong enough to face the vagaries of politicking, when it goes down to the gallows, to the gutters. And this is what it is. The fight is going to the gutters. The party needs to demonstrate its ability to withstand a storm like this. That is what will show political sagacity of the leaders moving forward.
Yes, I know you are very passionate about artificial intelligence. Some people are saying this is deep fake. Do you agree? Or you have also run a test on it and it validated the conversation and nothing was removed from it?
Well, Hamza, it is still very difficult in my own particular case and for a lot of people to actually ascertain with all authority that this is deep fake or this is authentic. Indeed, I don't have the tools, even though I have the IT background, a chartered ICT professional as a background, but I will not have the locus to confirm the veracity or otherwise of this particular audio. So far, the position of Mr. Kenneth Okonkwo indeed gives some credence to the validity or veracity of this audio. Yeah. The opposite position taken by the campaign organization also, to my mind, further, gives, pushes people to start thinking that this is just an act of damage control by the other camp.
Yeah.
Kenneth Okonkwo is an appointed spokesman of the Labour Party. He has been a very, very vocal, loyal, member of the party. And, without prejudice, and these things I'm saying is that without prejudice to the provisions of the Constitution. We know that Section 37 of the 1999 Constitution provides the right to privacy of citizens, homes, telephone and correspondence, etc. This is without prejudice to
of course. To quote that section succinctly, it says the privacy of citizens, their homes, correspondences, telephone, conversation, and telegraphic communication is hereby guaranteed and protected. I wanted to bring this much later, but now that you've mentioned it, what do you make out of this now vis-a-vis the leaking of the video, I mean the audio, because people have been latching on the veracity of, the religious thing and whatever. Nobody is talking about the invasion of privacy and the legal implication.
I'll answer from 2 to 3 perspectives, Hamza, real quick. First of all, the constitutional provision is very clear with regard to the illegality and unconstitutionality of acts like this.
Yes.
Except for the relevant authorities given the mandate and having gotten the requisite clearance to do so. Now, without that, it remains an unconstitutional and illegal act. There is no way we can color it otherwise. However, be that as it may, it has happened, it is what it is, and it has to be dealt with. We have seen actions and reactions, and then we look at the implications. Now, talking about the consequences of such acts by the actors.
Yeah.
For a long while now, due to the advent of social media, the pluses and minuses, this is one of the minuses, because apart from the, supposed hacking of the phone, I'm coming to another perspective. There is this issue of uploading it on social media.
Yes.
And if that is the case, what we have is a situation whereby it is out there, it needs to be dealt with. But the question is, how many of such situations have been unearthed and people have been prosecuted, for example? This is just one.
So everything goes in Nigeria. Cybercrime is not really being
the last 2-3 years
addressed
we have had
the way it should be.
Of high net worth individuals' conversation. I don't want to mention names, and it just goes down and slides away and off rather. But this one is very thorny because of the content of the conversation, the personalities involved, and the timing of the release of this information.
Yeah.
And the impact it will have on our polity today and moving forward. And that is the issue. And sadly so, we will wait to see if the relevant authorities, first of all, this will test the capacity of the authorities to unravel the truth, 1, and 2, to take the necessary actions in line with the provisions of the Constitution to stop this kind of act or otherwise.
Okay, Valentine Obis, that's spokesperson of Obis, he alleged that it was actually somebody in Inewi that, infringed on the privacy of Mr. Obis. And he alleged that the powers that be, I don't want to mention name because he too did not, they are perusing Obis, phone calls for the last 3 years, but they will mention them at the appropriate time. What is your take on this?
Then why not take action against this individual? This is a very big blow to the Peter Obi camp. And if you have people that you have confirmed or individuals that you have confirmed is doing such a terrible thing, why come out with rhetoric rather than action? Indeed, the action will also confirm to us that this is not actually what happened, or even if it has happened, an illegality that has happened, and it will curtail. If you say for 3 years, you have been monitoring such, activities, what action did you take to defend or protect your principle from such action? Now that goes to what I wanted to say about the other leg of this particular hacking issue. This should be also a call-out lesson to all of us, especially leaders at all levels, to invest first of all in technology to protect their privacy in any way and manner, especially in this advent of this communication espionage, technology and cyber espionage, is to know that their words are so precious that they need to protect them very much whenever they are having conversations, whether it's with telephone or even physical conversations, because people can also come and surreptitiously record, interactions.
Okay, for a very long time, this is the first time we are seeing a candidate get into the race, for the first time, and then almost reaching all the nooks and crannies of the country, picking some votes there in the person of Peter Obi. Going forward, do you think this conversation will affect his outing?
To be honest, my answer is a big yes. There is high level of suspicion in the country, across the 6 political zones, high level of polarization, build up to the election. The rhetoric and narratives of political actors did not help matters. Deeply seated issues and injuries that were healing have been opened. And whether we like it or not, or whether Mr. Peter Obi likes it or not, he has a big job ahead of him moving forward. He needs to be able to show and demonstrate that indeed he is a leader, a national leader for Nigerians, in line with his person as an individual, former governor, a leader, a banker, a leader of people that wants to become the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Yeah. I think downplaying this conversation on his part or on the part of all parties will only do more damage to the person and the political machinery of Mr. Peter Obi. I think he needs to come forward to say his views about what he feels about this audio, and then moving forward as a learning point that in strategy, now I'm wearing my strategy hat to say your actions, the actions of individuals and a group of people determines the counter maneuvers of their opponents, i.e., build up to the election. The lesson point for Mr. Peter Obi is to expand his coast and to expand his narrative to become more nationalistic, to be more across board, across Nigeria, to demonstrate that he is more neutral than what is implied and what is reflected in this audio, that he is more embracing of all parties over and beyond rhetorics. There is many ways he can do that. It is very easy to do that if it is in that person that is nationalistic. I'll give you an example. In the 1970s, the ending of 1970s, build up to the Second Republic. Yes, you had two personalities from two different parts of Nigeria. Late Alhaji Abubakar Rimi of the PRP then in Kano State, and Mr. Jim Nwobodo. Okay, that became the governor of Anambra. A Fulani man and a typical Igbo man that became the governor of Anambra, Enugu, and Ebonyi combined together of those days, while Alhaji Abubakar Rimi became the governor of Kano and Jigawa combined together as Kano State at that time. Many people who don't should know to tell you the importance of demonstration of political dexterity. Alhaji Abubakar Rimi was the best man at the wedding of Chief Jim Nwobodo, at that time. People should build bridges, over and rhetoric by action. And that, demonstrated that national leaders can go across religion, across ethnicity, across tribal sentiment and whatever parochial interest to demonstrate the ability to lead a nation that is as diverse as this. And that is why in 1983, build up to the elections, Mr. Alhaji Abubakar Rimi fell out with his principal, late Malam Amin Kano, and it was easy for him to resign from the cabinet as governor of Kano State and join the Nigerian People's Party, which is the party led by Mr. Chief Nnamdi Azikiwe, and of course the party of his bosom friend, Chief Jim Nwobodo. I'm saying that moving forward, there are many ways that Mr. Peter Obi can shake off this if it is as easily as possible. And of course, Pastor Oyedepo, highly respected cleric in Nigeria, also needs to come through to demonstrate religious tolerance, to demonstrate that leadership of the religious leaders of Nigeria today, whether Muslims or Christians, should demonstrate so that they can become the apostles of peace, unity, and progress in Nigeria moving forward.
Okay, you earlier alluded to something like conspiracy of silence in the polity. Of course, here in Daily Trust, like yesterday, we attempted to speak to, serious religious organizations to comment on this, but they were all adamant. Why do you think people don't want to speak out when there is a serious emergency as this one, including the newspapers? Because if you check, apart from ours and one other, almost all the newspapers, even carry the story, or when they took it from, you rarely even notice that there was a story to that effect.
I observed that, Hamza, and it is a third reflection of our third reality. The polarization in Nigeria is real. don't forget that the individuals and the institutions you are talking about are run by the same Nigerians, we, our brothers and sisters. So we are not insulated from this sentiment. And it's a precipitation of those sentiments. Of course, one may give them a slight excuse to say, people don't want to come quickly to take a position with regard to the, provision of the Constitution. But this issue, just like other issues issues smaller than this have triggered civil wars, triggered, violence that, escalate to war. And I expect that this is the time that critical stakeholders like the media, like the religious clerics, can come out and make statements to douse tension, to give assurances, to build more confidence and trust in the polity. It is unfortunate that this, to my mind, in my opinion, is a reflection of our sad reality, that we are living a hypocritical life of living the life of ostrich, and this kind of issues come and you see us actually as we are, a deeply polarized country that really needs to wake up and face the reality that we have issues that is a common denominator issue, Southeast, to deal with this issue. And it is not just a political players issue or political class issue. Indeed, it's a societal ill. I call it a societal ill. We should be able to cohabit. We should be able to exist together, in the interest of peace. Yesterday, a video was going around, Muslims were having iftar with Christians in Dubai, in the churches, the same thing, having iftar across London, different locations with people of other faiths. We should imbibe that moving forward. So this is not a Peter Obi Oyedepo issue. The audio indeed may be about Peter Obi and Oyedepo, but it has also precipitated that it is a Nigerian issue. It is a societal issue.
Indeed a Nigerian issue. We made a lot of effort to bring some of these people around Peter Obi to no avail. But what do you think his loyal members, especially from the north, because obviously nobody will deny that, he was able to galvanize a lot of support among the youths in northern part of Nigeria. How do you think they will receive this, especially those of the other faith?
To be honest, you have two classes or three classes of Peter Obi supporters in the north: the Muslims, the Christians, and possibly people of other faiths.
Yeah.
First of all, we have standing tall, heads above shoulders, the person of Mr. Datti Ahmed, the vice presidential candidate, running mate of Peter Obi himself, standing as possibly the leader in the northern region. We as people like that to stand and make statements that will douse tension. And of course, his followers have a tall job because they were swimming against the tide to build the momentum and the support base they have done for Mr. Peter Obi the last 5 to 6 months. I kudos to them for whatever they have achieved. It appears this, if not handled properly and well, for us that are on ground, for us that understand the political reality of this country, this will impact negatively on the political structure of the Labour Party and Peter Obi moving forward. We expect them to come through. Of course, though I will also believe that a few of them may have been taken aback by this audio, to be honest. So maybe some soul searching is already happening, which is part of the impact of such an audio. But I expect those die-hard supporters who believe that Peter Obi is a fully detribalized national leader that is, capable of becoming the president of Nigeria, come to his defense, give us reasons why this is not an issue we should take seriously, even if it is a real audio. And if indeed it's a deep fake, point us at directions with actions to show Nigerians that we should discountenance this kind of issue, which should not be just swept under the carpet. It should be dealt decisively. I don't want to believe Mr. Peter Obi is like this, but I'm deeply disturbed to hear this. I'm looking forward for further clarification to further assuage our concerns and fears in this country.
And how much do you think the citizens should trust religious leaders when it comes to, politics, especially in making decisions?
To be honest, a long time we have been led by the nose by a section of the religious leaders that are in it for their personal gains. Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Almighty God has been showing us the light to point at the people that should be the beacon, to show us the direction and the righteous path to take, whether as Muslims or as Christians. And the events of the past, especially of the recent past, has demonstrated that. We should become less gullible as citizens and see through, because part of the problem is also, you see, the heart accepts what is actually the mind loves the most. So we tend to gravitate to what we like to hear as people over and beyond what should be, and follow the doctrine of not just do as I say, look at the body language of these people. We have seen people coming out with postulations and prophecies that didn't turn out to be so. We have seen lack of focus in some of the political leaders, religious leaders, in how they go about, propagating or evangelizing the religion, pointing to the word of God, to reduce corruption, for example, to reduce division, for example, within our midst. That should be the focus, for people to be closer to their Creator. And if that is done properly by the religious leaders, there will be less of these disunity issues. There will be less of corruption. Indeed, corruption is at its highest in Nigeria, and we are not hearing, rhetoric or conversations to guide people aright.
All right.
And unfortunately,
thank you.
We hope people. Thank you very much.
That's excellent. Thank you very much, Baba Yusuf, for your informed perspective. We thank you once again for joining us from Kano via the telephone.
Always a pleasure to join, and I appreciate the opportunity.
All right, viewers, that was Baba Yusuf, strategist and policy analyst. And that's a wrap on today's edition of the program. Thank you for watching. Do join us again. I'm Hamza Idris.